The auditorium was vast, though the ceiling's height seemed designed to make a human feel microscopic. Rows of iridescent seats stretched into the dim, bluish haze, each chair molded seamlessly into the floor. A low hum vibrated through the metal panels, not loud enough to hurt, but enough to make your teeth feel slightly awake. I had wandered the corridors of the Velari Royal Orbital, searching for a seat as instructed by the alien liaison officer. "Sit anywhere," she had said, in perfect galactic standard, though with a faint lilting accent that hinted she wasn't from any human colony I had ever visited. I had been to countless interstellar summits as a xenocultural envoy, but this was entirely different. The hum wasn't just mechanical, it felt alive. I glanced around at the seats, each shaped to conform to multiple limbs, some with subtle pulsations of light that suggested memory, awareness, or perhaps consciousness. I hesitated, and then, without warning, she was in front of me. The alien princess. I had only seen her in holographic briefings before. Her skin shimmered in the blue light, not like any material I could name, but like liquid crystal frozen mid-motion. Her eyes, if they could even be called that, were vertical slits that pulsed faintly with light, every blink a ripple of color across the room. She extended one elongated hand, delicate yet firm, and took my wrist. The touch wasn't warm or cold. It was commanding. "Sit here," she said. Her voice resonated inside my head as much as it did in the air. No translator was necessary. I obeyed. The chair beneath me adjusted instantly. A soft, firm pressure molded itself to my body, and a faint hum resonated through my spine. It was as if the chair and I had merged for a fraction of a second. I tried to focus, but my attention was torn between the princess's luminous form and the strange, otherworldly geometry of the room. "You are human," she said. "You do not belong here." I laughed nervously. "I suppose not." Her eyes, or whatever her visual organs were, narrowed slightly. "Yet, you are the one we have chosen." That statement made my stomach drop. Chosen for what? Diplomacy? Entertainment? Experimentation? The Velari were known for their unpredictability, their history peppered with legends of humans who had been taken as honored guests only to vanish into their orbital cities, never to be seen again. "You may ask questions," she added, almost as if reading my mind. "But some answers require patience, others obedience." I swallowed hard and nodded. "Then I will obey." A panel slid open beside my chair, revealing a translucent console, the controls floating in midair. Symbols I couldn't decipher shimmered and rearranged themselves as I looked, almost as if they were aware I was trying to read them. Tentatively, I touched one symbol, and the room shifted. Not physically, but perceptually. Stars appeared around us, stretching into infinity. The walls dissolved into a cosmic panorama, showing a galaxy I had never seen before. The princess's voice echoed in my mind again. "This is the heart of our world. Not the palace, not the throne, but the flow of life itself. You see it because you were chosen." I blinked, trying to process. Chosen for what? She extended her hand again, not touching me this time. The stars shifted and coalesced into a single, enormous sphere, glowing with internal light. To witness, to understand, to learn. I frowned. Understand what? Everything. Her form pulsed, and for a moment, I could see what she meant. Not just knowledge, experience. Histories of civilizations, the rise and fall of empires across countless systems, the weaving of alliances and betrayals, the quiet birth of stars and the slow death of worlds. My mind felt overloaded, yet I understood, in a visceral, gut-level way, that she wasn't showing me this to impress me. She was teaching me. Then the hum of the chair deepened, and I felt a new sensation, memory, not my own, flooding in. A civilization of beings that lived beneath molten rivers, constructing cities of glass and fire. A species whose thoughts were broadcast as light, whose conflicts were resolved not by war, but by a shared understanding of perception. I realized, with a thrill bordering on terror, that I was seeing history as lived by others. Not through records, not through stories, but firsthand. "How?" I stammered. "You are human," she said gently. "And yet, you can bear the weight. Not all of your kind could." I felt her wrist press lightly against mine again. The touch anchored me, Without it, I might have drowned in the memories. Why me? Because you seek more than diplomacy, she said. You seek meaning. And meaning is dangerous. Her words were both a warning and an invitation. I tried to form a question, but before I could, the stars dissolved into a single, crystalline hall. It was a throne room unlike any I had imagined. The walls were fluid, moving like water yet solid. The ceiling reached impossibly high, and in the center, suspended on nothing, was a throne carved from what looked like condensed starlight. The princess floated toward it, still taking no note of my astonishment. "Sit closer," she commanded. I obeyed again, drawn by curiosity and a subtle compulsion I could not resist. She descended onto the throne, but not fully. Instead, her form hovered, as if the gravity of her presence anchored her partially to the crystalline seat. "I am Elvesia," she said, finally giving a name to the figure who had dominated my perceptions for the last hour. "Princess of the Veilari. You may call me that. And I am. You are human, yes, but names are transient. They are marks on the surface of experience. You are something more here. A witness, a participant, a choice." Her words settled over me like a tide, making my earlier anxieties seem small, insignificant. Yet beneath it all, a thread of fear remained. The Veilari were known for their tests. I had heard stories of humans who had been asked to perform simple tasks, answering riddles, making choices, or even choosing a seat in an empty hall that ultimately determined their fate. And here I was, trapped in a palace of light and consciousness, with a princess who had taken my wrist and commanded me. "You must understand," she said, "that this seat you occupy is not mere furniture. It is an interface. It allows you to see what most cannot, to experience what most cannot. But it also shows you truths you may not wish to see." I nodded slowly, swallowing. "I understand." She smiled, or what I interpreted as a smile, given the ripple of light across her crystalline lips. "Good. Then let us begin." 4 hours, though time became meaningless, the princess guided me through the histories of her people, their triumphs, their mistakes, the intricate network of alliances and betrayals that kept their empire intact. I saw the rise of the Veilari from primitive starfarers to masters of energy manipulation, their discovery of consciousness transmission, and the centuries-long struggle to maintain balance across systems. At one point, the chair shifted again, and I found myself experiencing a human memory, my own, as a child, watching the stars from a dusty observatory on Earth. My parents had joked about aliens, about the impossibility of interstellar travel. I had laughed, but now, sitting in the princess's throne room, I realized that my childhood wonder had been preparation, in some small, unknowing way, for this moment. "Do you see?" Ilvesia asked softly. "Every species leaves traces, some in art, some in science, some in memory. You humans are young, but your curiosity, that is why you were chosen." "Chosen to witness," I said, echoing her words. "Or to participate." Her eyes, or whatever I should call them, narrowed in amusement. "Both. Observation without understanding is hollow. You will learn not only our history but your place in it, for your choices matter. Even now, they ripple across the stars you see." The room shifted again, and suddenly I was standing, not in my chair but floating, weightless, as if the laws of physics bent to accommodate the Veilari's vision. Worlds spun beneath me, each a sphere of light and shadow. I realized I could influence them. Not destroy, not control, but adjust. Nudges, subtle corrections, the unseen hand that kept the balance of civilizations. "You may do this," she said, her voice resonating through me. "You may make a choice." I hesitated. The responsibility was immense. My hand hovered over a small, glowing world. I thought of my home on Earth, of the people I had left behind, of the fragile, beautiful chaos of human life. And then, with a deep breath, I made a subtle adjustment. A small nudge of balance, barely perceptible, but enough to shift the course of that civilization toward cooperation rather than conflict. Ilvesia's form pulsed with approval. "Well done," she whispered. "You understand now. Understanding is not knowledge alone, it is action and consequence." The stars and worlds faded, returning me to the throne room, my chair still beneath me, my wrist free now. I looked at the princess, and for the first time, I felt not fear but kinship, a connection beyond language, beyond species. "You will leave this place," she said softly, "but you will carry it with you. The memory, the understanding, the responsibility. Some humans will laugh, some will fear, some will deny it, but you will know." I nodded, my throat tight. "Thank you." She extended her hand one last time. I took it, feeling that same firm, commanding presence that had guided me here. "Go," she said. "And remember, sometimes the seat you choose defines you far more than the crown you never touch." I blinked. The palace of light dissolved. I was back in the observation hall of the Velari Royal Orbital, the audience seats empty, the hum now a simple mechanical vibration. Yet in my mind, the memory of her throne, of the stars, of the infinite responsibility and possibility remained vivid. I had come searching for a seat. The princess had taken my wrist and commanded me. And in that moment, I had learned something that no human textbook, no interstellar treaty, no scientific observation could ever teach. That the universe was not a place to watch passively, but a canvas on which even a single human could make a mark. And as I left the hall, I knew I would never sit idly again.